Good afternoon, good evening. Lehmann said that Spain was a juvenile, a youth team. Kroos said Lehmann did not represent him, and Kroos said that, well, he said that Spain was a good team. What do you think? Does Germany fear us, respect us? What do you think? Well, I don't know that. Well, I would have hoped that they have respect for us, the same as that we feel for them. But in any case, I'm really not worried about what anybody says. I know our potential, I know our opponent's potential, and I know both teams within that respect that we all have. I think it's going to be an equal game. Like I said, it could have been a final of the European Championship, but at a footballing level, I think the match is fairly even. Against Denmark, when the game started, Germany was all out in attack in the first few minutes, and they had a bit of luck in order to not to score. How important do you think it can be to try and counteract those first minutes of Germany that will come out all out in front of their fans? Like you said, they always start in a really powerful way, the German team, but of course we're going to try to counter their system acting the same way. We want to take the initiative from the first moment, and of course we're going to go all out from the first minutes. That's the best way to try and reply to this attack, which is using an even better attack than them, and that's our game plan tomorrow. We're going to try to take the initiative in the game, of course knowing that we're playing an opponent with a very similar game plan to ours and similar characteristics, but of course we'll try and play our best to try and make as many mistakes as possible, because that will be the one that will have more chances to win the game. I wanted to know if you have practiced penalties for this game. Well, we practice everything. You know, we work throughout the week, and we work as much as we can. We work penalties, dead balls, corners, kick-ins, etc., free kicks, etc. We do that in a very natural way, but we don't think about anything in particular. That's the kind of responsibility. It's our responsibility to control as many aspects as possible, and one of the aspects of a game is obviously the penalties. I wanted to ask you about Dani Olmo, who has worked with Julian Nagelsmann for a number of years and knows German football really well. Has he helped you prepare the game? And I also like to know if Dani is going to start the game tomorrow. Well, the second part of the question, we will see. I'm not going to say if he's going to start or not. I won't say anything about the team. All I can say is Dani is super ready. Everybody is very much ready to face a game like that. Of course, I talk a lot with Dani and Grimaldo, who has experience in German football. They always tell us about certain aspects of German football. But of course, we have prepared the game really well. We know the German national team really well. And of course, like you said about Dani, any of my footballers is ready to play tomorrow. The game plan is not going to change. There might be a different player, one player or the other, but the game plan is completely prepared by now. How much do you value that Germany is playing in front of their fans, and also linked to that curse, we could say, that Spain never wins against home teams in tournaments like this? Well, at this level, the home factor, I don't think is a huge factor, so to speak. I don't think I think my players are experienced enough not to be affected by a hostile environment. It's just a normal football environment, and we are used to that. I don't think that's going to affect us. Other than that, those little aspects could be beneficial or not, could be an added pressure and could be against the local team because it could be demanding, to play in front of their fans and try and play a really good game. So we are going to try to play with confidence, with joy, with knowing that we have a big potential, a lot of football in our legs, and the team that we will face tomorrow is, of course, a great team with a level equal to ours. We will see who manages to make the most of those little details tomorrow and who can get away with the game tomorrow. Well, you've been talking about Spain. In Spain, we've been talking about Nico Williams and Lamal, and in Germany, there's a lot going on about Musiala. And well, a national team is much more than those players. Those 4 players are possibly 4 of the best footballers in Europe, but of course they need all their teammates, because we have other players who are world-class players, and so does the German team. We want to be strong in the team, as a team. Of course, as individual players will try to solve certain moments or situations that will try to make a difference there. But if we keep going with the same idea, working as a team, as a collective concept, we are much stronger, and those individual players will try and shine even more. We're talking about really young players with a lot of room for improvement. In Germany, we're talking about Musiala and Florian Wirtz. Nagelsmann said a few minutes ago that he thinks it's going to be a 50-50 game, and you seem to be thinking the same. What do you think is going to be more decisive? That Spain is able to play according to their game plan, or to prevent Germany to play their game plan? Well, we always think about doing our job. We can't be thinking about Germany missing or failing to do their job. We will try, of course, to minimize their strengths. And of course, minimize their strengths, yes, and play their weaknesses, of course. We have similar characteristics as far as football is concerned. So it's going to be the details. I think exactly the same that Mr. Nagelsmann said, and it's going to be an equal game. We're going to see a final tomorrow, and there can be only one, of course. Only one can win. We are extremely prepared to try and go out there and fight for victory. This morning, in the first few minutes of training, we saw that your players were in a very, joking around, all smiles, but Germany was a bit of a, with very little access to the press and in a very serious training in a very serious way. How do you think it affects both teams? Would you is it okay to see your players this happy and the Germans so serious about it? Well, you just need to be who you are. We are always like that. We're not going to change the way we behave, even in the eve of such an important game. It's the way we see life, of course, and that is something that gives us confidence. We are who we are. We always act the same way, but of course we don't have fewer responsibilities than our opponents. Maybe it's the Spanish character maybe we see life in a slightly different way. But of course, we feel a lot of responsibility. We're extremely focused on the game at hand, and tomorrow we are trying to fight with all the professionality that we can show in a kind of, that the kind of game requires. And good luck for tomorrow. Do you think that Toni Kroos has changed the face of Germany? Maybe, do you think that we are seeing a different team now, having Toni Kroos in their ranks? Do you think Toni Kroos gave the German team a higher level? Well, I think Toni Kroos is a fuori classe. It's a world-class player. He's got an amazing footballing level. These guys just one day they quit football, but football never quits them, of course. But what has he brought? He's brought a lot of talent, control, quality, and of course this charisma that he has in the dressing room. And of course for footballers, when you feel that you have someone like that next to you with the confidence he exudes, I think that's contagious. I think his contingency has been really good for Germany, and it's a real shame that he has said about quitting football, because it's a shame. I would love to keep on watching him play. Well, you've been saying a lot of praise about Germany. I would like to know what worries you the most about their national team. Well, I'm giving them lots of praise in order not to make a mistake, because people have been praising us so much that I don't want anybody to think that the game tomorrow is already, we have already won it. It's a final tomorrow. It's a really equal. We're talking about a really equal match, 50-50. Germany is, of course, a great team, a great national team who has a very solid squad, really balanced team. But like I said before, they have really good individual players. Florian Wirtz, Musiala, two of the best European talents. Toni Kroos, Gundogan, you know them as much as I do. So they are really a really big opponent, as big as you can get, of course. You know. But I also want to say that we also have a great team, and the match is equal in terms of quality and potential of both teams.
Hola Luis, aquí Luis Mora del Desmarque de Mediaset.
You've been saying that tomorrow it's a final, tomorrow's game is a final. Who do you think that the winner tomorrow would be the favorites to win the Euros? No, there are other powerful teams in other legs, in other ties, sorry. You know, the closer you get to the final, only the best remain. Nothing is free here. The team that goes through will go through because they are a great team and they will surely deserve it. Sometimes football, you know, not always the best team goes through, but the one that goes through will have won it on the pitch, of course. And I don't know if it would be one of the favorites, you know, to win the final. But as I want to say, like I've said before, that we see ourselves as a very strong team and with potential to fight for the title. But we need to keep growing, we need to keep learning, but we want to fight for everything. We want to fight until the end. We know that anything can happen in a game like this, but we are extremely excited about going far with this team, getting far in the competition. You were saying before that the game tomorrow could be a final in a Euro and even a World Cup final. Do you feel that you finally have the recognition you deserve, that you are at the top, one of the happiest moments in your career as a coach? Elena, I am still the same person today, a month ago, etc. The people's conception may have changed, the press conception, but I feel I am exactly the same person. I deal with what I can control, which is working a lot with my technical staff, who are marvelous. I couldn't do what I do without them, and I'll just keep walking, keep working. The impression that people have, the press has, it doesn't really affect me in the slightest. I'm still the same person that I was a month ago. What is going to be the final message? What will be the final message for your players tomorrow? Well, what we always say is that I always tell them to do their job. We are footballers. Let's play football. This is a game. It's a very important game, but it's still a football game, and we are trained to do that. So I will say something along those lines. I'll try to take some of the tension and the drama away, and I will tell them that we can do something that we can do well. We have trained for that, and I want them to enjoy doing that. You know, so I want to get to their heads because they are marvelous people, very generous players, and they're really looking forward to keep growing and learning.
Buenas tardes, seleccionador Joaquín Maroto de las. Más allá de que Toni Kroos
Beyond Toni Kroos being a great player, we all know that. I wanted to tell you, have UEFA statistics about this tournament. Toni Kroos has over 95% completed passes, including 37 good passes out of 42, half of them good long passes to Musiala. So knowing those numbers, I'm sure you have thought about something in order to try to minimize it and minimize those passes. What have you thought about that? Well, I don't know if they will let me do that. Well, we tried about tying their feet, but I don't think that UEFA will allow us to do that. Well, of course, I'm joking. Statistics, you know, Kroos statistics, we all know who Kroos is, and those statistics show the reality. You know, it's not only about, you know, 100% passes with short passes to your colleague, to your teammate, but we know Toni Kroos can pass the ball everywhere on the pitch. When a player has that, is able to do that, we're going to try to prevent him from receiving the ball easily, so we can prevent his passing options. We need to be real close to him, really help each other, and well, insist talking to UEFA. If they don't let us tie their feet, we'll just try to work on him as we always try to do. Last question.
Buenas noches, Florian Bettmerk von Sky. Es wurde überliefert, dass Sie gesagt haben, once again.
No se escucha. Lo siento. Pero a ver.
He doesn't speak, so I can't translate.
Es wurde.
Ahora, sí.
Perfekt. Es wurde überliefert, dass Sie gesagt haben, dass die Spanier die bessere Mannschaft seien.
It was reported that you said that Spain has the better team than Germany, and that led to some commotion in Germany. Would you repeat that? And if you had to put a German player into the Spanish jersey, which German player would you pick?
Well, I don't know if you... he said that I said that we have a better team than Germany. I never said that. If you've been told that, all I said is that we have a great team, just like the German one. As for which Germany player I would like to have for my team, I wouldn't change my players for any player in the world. My players, in my opinion, are the best in the world, and that's my own opinion. Of course, there are really good players everywhere, but for me, my players are the best.
Hola, Luis, ¿qué tal? No sé si me ves.
Hi, Luis. I don't know if you can see me. Tomorrow is the best great game for a whole generation of players, for Yamin, of course, and others. But do you say anything special to young players ahead of the game tomorrow? How did you see them in the dressing room? I can see they're super ready, super focused, really ready for this kind of match. You know, they're keeping a cool head. You can just see the images of the training. The atmosphere is fantastic. So all I do is try to share with them the kind of responsibility that they have, but they are still growing. I try to keep training them and keep helping them grow. They have an extreme potential. They have a great ability to assimilate every sort of opinion and all my help, and that's why they are that good. So I will ask them to go out there to play football, enjoy playing football, compete properly, and then to keep